Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever, wherever you're listening to this. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about how to manifest more money. Now, you might be thinking, well, I've tried manifesting money. There's a certain amount that I really want to achieve, or there's a certain goal that I have in mind. And every time you try and break through and upgrade and get to this next level, something happens. It's almost like there's this downward escalator that just keeps moving, and you're trying to walk up the escalator. And so you always find yourself in the same place, and it's like you're never moving forward. You just feel stuck. And things that I've heard people say is that you're kicking the can down the road. It feels like you're chasing your tail, like you stick your head in the sand when it comes to money. Now, I want the best for you. I want you to achieve your fullest and greatest potential in this life. And if you're a business owner, the reason I want that to happen for you is because I know that if you are a soul-led spiritual entrepreneur, it's because you want to have greater impact in this life. And so by default, by creating more expansion for other people, your financial success is going to be directly related to the impact that you're having and helping other people with. So, one of the things that I often notice is that when people start on this journey to their next level of wealth expansion, they often find that there's things that get in the way. So, first of all, I had a client that shared with me that when she first started working with me, she didn't have the money to pay for the coaching. And that in and of itself created a kind of self-doubt from this place of like, is this really going to work? Like, I'm already coming from this place of fear and scarcity. And she said that she already had decided in her mind that it wasn't going to work, which was absolutely fascinating to me because sometimes this can happen, right? We feel it internally and energetically that we're meant for more. But then there's this little voice inside our heads that goes, that's not really meant for you. Who do you think you are wanting to make a certain amount of money? Like, who are you to even think that that's possible for you? And I'm here to tell you that if you've had that inner voice calling you to do more, it's because that is meant for you. And often what happens is we think that we need to do more. We think, I need to put more stuff into place. I need to learn more. I need to take this course. This person has made success in this particular way. And so I need to replicate that. And the reason why that doesn't work is because you are looking for that external methodology, the external validation, when really it's your internal world that is going to reflect the success that you have in your outer world. People make success in their business by many, many, many different means, right? Some people have a content calendar, some people don't, and they can be equally successful. And what can happen is we get stuck in the cycle of trying to search for the thing that's going to move the needle, when in reality, all we need to do is transform our self concept. And I've often, or more lately, been speaking about this idea that it's not about doing more, it's about who we need to become in the process to call that money in. And the first thing that needs to happen is that we feel financially responsible, that we feel like when that money comes to us, we are going to be the person who can handle that money. And that means not only spiritually and energetically getting on the same frequency as money, but it also means putting the practical tools in place so that when we receive that money, we know with intention where it's going and what we're going to be able to do with it. Money loves intention. Okay. There's no point putting out to the universe, I want to make £1 million. Why? Why do you want that £1 million? What is it about that £1 million that's important to you? Is it the fact that it gives you security? Is it the fact that it gives you stability? Is it the fact that it's going to help you invest into other things? Is it mean that you're going to be able to afford a bigger property so that you can, enjoy that space with your family? Is it so that you can then contribute in other ways and give back to charity, right? What is it with that money that you want to be doing? And when we get crystal clear on what that looks like, the second step to manifesting more money is letting go of the outcome and how that is going to appear. Right? Sometimes we get so attached to that number. We're like walking around and we're like, oh, maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's the thing that's going to move the needle. And that's not how the energy of money works, because when we do that, we are coming from a place of scarcity. When we say, I need XYZ, I need more money so that XYZ. I need that £1 million because XYZ. What we are signaling and what we are implying to ourselves is that we don't already have it yet. And on some timeline, as I said before, if you're feeling that energetically, that is already yours. Right? So, by definition, those thoughts and limiting beliefs that come into our mind are simply the opponent being like, who do you think you are? Right? And so, we need to surrender ourselves. We need to detach from the outcome of what it's going to look like and how that's going to come through. Because often what happens is we start off on this journey, we put this intention in place, and by some miraculous miracle, an opportunity presents itself. Invariably, initially, when we set a goal, something comes through to us. Now, the thing is, when that happens, we are not ready to receive that money, right? If you have just made the decision, I want to make £10,000 this month, right? I'm just plucking a number out of the sky, but let's say it's £10,000 this month. When you set that intention, right, the universe will respond and opportunities will come to you. But if you're not quite there as the person who feels ready to manage that money, to take that money, to hold on to that money without just, I called it bag lady syndrome in the past, where like literally you make the money and then it vanishes and it disappears, right? That is a sign that you are not ready to receive that money. It's a sign from the universe that there are still lessons to learn before you can feel capable and confident with crystal clear clarity that that money is going to come to you. And so what happens is, energetically, on some subconscious level, we reject the notion that that money is really meant for us. And so that money will never come through. And as we learn more about ourselves and how we interact with money, what our relationship with money is on a really deep level, we can then observe in ourselves what it actually is that we're telling ourselves that's rejecting the money. And as I said before, when we create a practical financial strategy and a framework for that money, you can then call that money in with the intention and purpose and clarity that it truly deserves. So you, by definition, are then respecting money. You are showing money the same respect that you then show to yourself. And what I mean by that is that you are now the person, you now have the self-concept and the identity that you are willing, capable, responsible enough to be deserving of that money. And not only that, when you start thinking in that way, you then start attracting more like. So we know that like attracts like, right? Where our attention goes, energy flows. So if we're constantly coming from this place of like, where are the clients? Our brain is going to be defaulting to looking where the clients are. And this is not the energy of abundance and overflow. The energy of abundance and overflow is a feminine energy. It's when we sit back and we breathe and opportunities present themselves to us. Time and time again, every time I post a video, every time I put a post on LinkedIn, I get people spamming me all the time. Hey, Sarah, followed by whatever sales pitch that comes after that. Okay. I don't go around DMing people and telling them, you need to do this, you need to do that, unless someone has come to me first and asked me to follow up with them in order to hold them accountable. And the difference of that energy is that when you're not asking for permission from someone and just randomly spouting out, like, hey, I've got this freebie, come and join me, right? This is from the energy of I need more, right? From the energy of seeking out rather than the energy of receiving. And the energy of receiving, I've learned, has been so, so beautiful. It's taken me almost 10 years to get to this point. I'm going to be completely honest. It's not something that happened overnight. And even I have felt an expansion in my own work in the last 18 months because I have truly embraced this in myself. Every time I post on LinkedIn, every time I post on YouTube, somewhere, somehow, I get an inquiry, I get a lead, someone pays for a program, someone signs on to my course. And it's invariably not from the same source as where I post the thing. Wherever I give the value, it seems to be coming back to me from another source, right? So we can never pinpoint how, where, when, and why things are going to come through to us. All we can do when we are manifesting money is be observing internally that self-regulation. What's going on for us? Where are these ideas and beliefs coming that we're not worthy of receiving that money? Now, some people are naturally better at manifesting money than others. That doesn't mean that if you're not a good manifester, and this comes from various different sources, things like human design, for example. So in human design, I'm a projector. I'm not necessarily a manifester, although my Sagittarius would suggest that I'm quite lucky in life. But all of these different makeups, all of these different modalities tell us so much about ourselves. And in the same way, the sacred money archetypes that I teach can also reveal so much more about ourselves because romantics are amazing at attracting money into their lives. So are celebrities. But their challenge might be in creating financial security for the long term. Whereas accumulators are really good at holding on to money, right? But not necessarily so good at investing in opportunities that are going to create more wealth. So we all have different strengths and we all have different shadow sides, right? We all have challenges that we need to overcome in order to achieve our highest level of wealth expansion. And it's a journey, it's a process. So the title of this video is going to be how to manifest more money. But I also want to say that if you have been manifesting more money and it hasn't been coming through to you yet, it's because you have a subconscious block on some level. Perhaps you jump into a meeting with someone and energetically there's like a block because you feel like on some level you can't feel you don't feel like you can handle this more business because you're exhausted. If you're coming from this place of feeling exhausted, like you have no capacity to take on more work, even if you're in desperate need of that work, subconsciously, that is the energy and the vibration that you are putting out into the universe. And so when you set the intention, you have to shift from doubt into absolute certainty that what you are manifesting is already yours. It's already here. It's already in existence. All you need to do is become that person. You need to become the person who is not only willing to do the action, who's not only willing to do the work, but who is also responsible enough and takes the big enough risks to manage that money in a way that it's going to serve you and the people in your life and the world at large, right? This is not only about you. Wanting to make money for you is almost like a selfish need, right? We know that money comes to us because it's expansive. And so and when I say that, it doesn't necessarily mean give money away, right? It doesn't mean like just go down the street and like find anyone that you can to give the money to. That's not what we're saying. We're saying it's that you're getting really clear on what's important to you in your life, what your values are, right? When your money is aligned with what your values are, then you're going to be more aligned with money in general. So, for example, something that I often see is when I go through people's budget planners, and I don't really like to call it a budget planner, I actually call it a conscious spending plan because we are looking at where we are consciously spending our money. What I often see is, connectors who love being around other people, right? Their money is being spent in places that's not aligned with who they inherently are as an individual and what their strengths are. And so the way that we overcome this is by eliminating anything from our conscious spending plans that is not aligned with what our greater good is and what makes us feel good, what brings us joy in this life. Right? So we need to get really clear on where we want to be spending that money consciously, with intention and with purpose. And then we can realign our budget so that it feels like that money is coming to us and we have that purpose and intention for it. And I love this work. I absolutely just love seeing the success that some of my clients have had. Today, I posted on LinkedIn some of those wins, and there has been some amazing breakthroughs that I've been observing lately. And it's just so empowering because it gives me more motivation to impact more people and help more people with this amazing framework that I've created from various different schools of life that I've learned over the last, well, not even decade, I'd say a couple of decades. And yeah, all of this to say, if you're in a place where you're wanting to manifest more money, you've been trying to manifest more money, but it hasn't been coming through to you, the first thing is getting really clear on the intention of what you want that money for. The second thing is believing without a doubt and surrendering how that's going to come to you in the moment. And the third thing is observing what then comes up for you. What limiting beliefs then stop you from taking the action in order to make that a reality for yourself? Because the only person standing between where you want to get to and where you are right now is you. And we know that life is a movie for one. You are the star of your own movie, right? There's no one else in your life that's just going to turn up and be like, "Hey, I want to help you with your finances." No, you have to be independent enough. You have to be self-serving enough that you know without a doubt that you are deserving of this change and this transformation. You are deserving of this next level of success. And when you let go of any blocks and any barriers between where you are right now and where you want to get to, that money you've manifested will come through to you without a doubt. And if you're wondering how to do that, you can take I'm just noticing that the sun is coming round, so I'm going to wrap this up. But what you need to do is better understand your money personality. And you can do that by taking my free money personality quiz, which will help you better understand your sacred money archetypes so that you can move forward with more alignment, more freedom, and more ease. And if you hate quizzes, then have no fear. I'm always here on the other end of the line. Drop me a message below, contact me on LinkedIn, or drop me an email. And we can have a chat about how to help you up level to your next level of financial expansion. Everyone, have a wonderful day. As you can see, it is the afternoon here. And for once, it's actually sunny in the UK. So I'm going to go and enjoy a lovely walk since the sun is setting later. If you have any questions about money at all, I'd love to make this a two-way conversation. So do drop any questions that you have in the comments below. As always, like, share, comment, and follow for more. And I'll see you in the next one.